Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Real Podcasters, the show where we talk all things movies, TV shows, video games, and a whole bunch of other things in no particular order. My name's Regan. I'm 100% better this time compared to last week, I actually promise. And I'm joined by my probably still by default healthier co-host, the legend that is Dan.
Still slightly healthier, but I guess that will be determined in the coming days because I'm feeling a bit ugh at the moment. So
A bit ugh.
yeah, that's pretty much the only word I can describe it with. But yes, we're here with episode 24,
2-4.
as the
24.
bingoers would say, 24.
Is it actually just 2-4?
Yes, that is how they do it. Like, as somebody who goes to a gig,
that's
right,
rubbish.
they have like a bingo section, right, and say like, I don't know, 72. They're going 72, 72, 72. It's like,
I mean, I know like the Two Little Ducks 22 or something, isn't it? Or something like that?
oh, some bull like that. But yeah, anyway, enough of bingo.
Yeah.
We're going to be
anyway.
talking about San Diego, specifically the San Diego Comic-Con that has taken place very recently. We have an awful lot of stuff to talk about it, so we're going to whiz through the introductory news pretty quickly and then kind of just use that time for the San Diego Comic-Con section. So stay tuned for that because we have a lot to say.
Yeah, there's plenty of news. I know. I promised last week it was going to be Batman, but then it was literally Tuesday or Wednesday. I completely forgot it was Comic Con this week, so I thought, we can talk about Batman at a later date. Because let's face it, there's about 30 things that came out of Comic Con, so we're going to focus on that, as Dan has already said, because he's now decided that he's going to start saying this thing at the beginning, which is absolutely fine with me, because it actually gives my throat a bit of a 7-second rest. I can work with that. But yes, we still have a little bit of news at the beginning, which we're going to breeze through, and we'll talk about our playlists, as we're now calling it, because we're now including video games every now and again. And then San Diego Comic-Con, just everything. If this isn't the longest episode, then we're clearly doing something very, very wrong. But let's kick things off immediately with Halloween Ends. We now have our very first trailer. I think it's safe to say this is Dan's most anticipated film of the year, because for some reason he doesn't like any other franchise other than Halloween.
Right, that is false. Okay, I just happen to like Halloween the most.
There you go, then. It was actually quite an interesting trailer. I'm actually quite happy to not watch another trailer, not because this was a bad trailer, but because, especially with Halloween, there's only so much I think you can actually do, and this does look interesting enough.
Yeah.
I definitely winced a little bit when you see Michael Myers trying to shove Laurie Strode's hand down the sink drain spinny thing.
It's like a compactor or something like that. Apparently that's a thing in America. It's a compactor that just like blends up all the food and stuff. So as soon as I saw that scene, I thought, oh no, stop it.
Yeah. I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely really intrigued, especially after enjoying Halloween Kills as much as I did, and thinking the previous one is mediocre. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's very average. Dan,
I'm fine. He's
No,
just
you're not.
awfully misguided.
It's not allowed to say that though, Dan, because I've already told you that 3 times this week.
Yeah, it's... Well, first opinion of it is that I've wanted this for so long, ever since Halloween Ends was announced, so it was fine. It was like a news article popped up, like the Halloween Kill Ends trailer is finally here on this like horror website that I follow. So after that, it was just absolutely everywhere. So the whole world just saw this trailer. I think most of us are excited for it. I think the only people who aren't are the ones who just didn't like Halloween Kills, because I imagine it's just going to do what obviously the 2018 one did, where Kills is a direct continuation / sequel of it. So I'm assuming Ends is going to be the same sort of barrel of blood.
Yeah, I know it's actually got a time jump. It's 4 years after, and it is going to address COVID, which I think we actually mentioned not too long ago, actually, about how it's like one of the few mainstream big films that's actually addressing the pandemic, which, why not? I mean, you might as well. It will just be quite
May
interesting.
as well utilize it, yeah.
I'm picturing like a really comedic moment of Michael Myers coming towards someone, and they literally say, "Excuse me, it's a 2 meter separation rule." I would like that a lot, and he just sort of stands there, just like, "Fine, I'll wait."
You know, it is like if it's a 4-year absence and it's with COVID, I can just sort of see Michael Myers just on a beach somewhere, and then just returns to Haddonfield and everything goes back to normal.
And is he literally just wearing the mask and nothing
Yeah,
else?
like,
That's horrible. It's kind of like the beginning of Terminator Dark Fate.
he's just
Actually,
wearing the
oh my
creepy ass
God.
burnt William Shatner mask and nothing else. Maybe some
Yeah.
tighty whities, but that's about it.
We've kind of ruined it now.
Yeah, we have. God, let's move on.
Anyway, moving on. So this one was quite interesting. How much of the Proms have you seen in the past? You can say none if you want.
None. None.
None. Okay. Yeah, because my history with the Proms is literally just the times that Doctor Who did it. I watched the one from 2008, which was great. It was really funny. There's the one from 2010. It's also quite funny. And there was one from 2013, which was a little bit cringy. It's been confirmed that this year, like literally, I think in like a week or so, I think it's like the 1st or 2nd of August, they're having their first ever, sort of like, program dedicated exclusively to gaming music.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
That being said, the ones that I actually know are going on, there isn't a lot that's actually there. So it's titled From 8-bit to Infinity. So it sounds like it's going from like old school video games to the more
Yeah,
modern
like
ones.
the old sort of like 8-bit arcade games to whatever we have.
Yeah,
right
which
now.
I thought you can't really do that as an orchestra, really. I'm just trying to
Just
picture-
watch it have
just
like the Pac-Man music.
Yeah, I was literally thinking of Pac-Man.
I don't
but
care
yeah,
what
so we
anyone
know
says.
that's-
Right, that score is classic.
Oh, it's just literally the peak of music. It's not actually. I actually don't even know what the hell the Pac-Man theme even is. No.
I mean, that's-
Pac-Man.
Batman, but okay.
No, it's Pac-Man. Dan.
Pac-Man.
Very different. Thank you very much.
What? And so instead of the Joker, it's just a green ghost, is it?
I like that idea. I like that a lot.
No. No.
Okay, fine, Dan. Fine.
Pixel's already ruined Pac-Man. We don't want anything else ruined with Pac-Man.
Honestly, this week you are so boring. Honestly. But yeah, so this dropped because the composer for Joker and Chernobyl. I'm not even gonna try and butcher it because I will butcher a name. I do apologize. I'll put it in like the description. But she did the score for the recent Battlefield 2042, which apparently is garbage, but clearly has a decent score. So there you go.
Right.
So she's going to be involved with that, and there's also music from Dear Esther, Kingdom Hearts, and Final Fantasy. I'm annoyed there's
Never
no
played
Halo
any of them.
music. Yeah, I mean Halo music would have been like the go-to for me because that's got like a proper soundtrack. I was actually watching a video recently. It was of some monks, literally doing the theme from Halo Infinite. Literally
my
in a
God.
church, and it's just the three of them, and the way it reverbs against the walls, it sounds like it's a full like
Yeah.
like group. And even I can't remember if it was Marty O'Donnell or I think it was Marty O'Donnell that there's actually a comment from him on there saying he absolutely loved it. And I was thinking that would be awesome to see. Like, my God.
I
Or even
remember
just,
like
Assassin's
ages ago
Creed.
when like there were just like other like groups of people who were fans of Halo and they just went into like an empty church and just started singing the theme, but because it's such a huge building and has a lot of echoes, it just sounds so spot on.
Yeah, I do not blame them because it is a fantastic score. I mean, maybe it will actually be in there and it's just going to be like a last minute addition.
Like
but...
there's just like a couple of like cathedral workers walking past, then someone's just starting the Halo theme and thinking, what is going on?
This is the sound of my people.
Like they're doing a tour, it's like, oh, hold on a second. Let me
Yeah.
just sing the voice of the Spartans.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try. I mean, if there's a way, I think you can listen to it on the radio because I think that's how I did it for the Doctor Who 2013 50th anniversary one. So I'm hoping you can do that because I cannot make it down to the Royal Albert Hall in like a week and a bit. I'm busy.
Yeah, I'd imagine BBC would probably do coverage of it, etc. So
More than likely, yeah. But yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. Again, shame about the lack of Halo. Next up, despite the fact we're going to be talking a lot about Marvel in this week's episode, let's just quickly talk about something a little bit more negative with Marvel. So this has been something that's been going on for a while, and even we've been talking about it a bit when we've been talking about the newer movies, where the quality of the visual effects is a bit ropey.
Yes.
So something went viral this week. There was a Reddit user, Independent AD 419. It's probably not his actual name. Who started a thread titled, "I am quite frankly sick and tired of working on Marvel shows." Gotta wonder what the theme is on this. So the post went on to claim that Marvel has probably the worst methodology of production and VFX management out there. They can never fix the look for the show before more than half the allocated time for the show is over. The artists working on Marvel shows are definitely not paid equivalent to the amount of work they put in. Now, we've said I mentioned it with Thor: Love and Thunder, how the VFX kind of go from being, actually they're pretty good, to downright awful. We're definitely going to mention it again with another trailer that dropped this week. Gotta wonder what on earth it is. It's actually Black Adam, but also She-Hulk. But I mean, this is something that's been cropping up for a while. Like sort of people calling out the work, like the work environment around Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm not really surprised, especially because I think I read something else this week that the character of Yelena, who was in Black Widow and she was in Hawkeye, I think as well.
Florence Pugh.
Yeah, your favourite. It was revealed that the original writers of the comic books that created that character were paid $300. $300. And I was like, that is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful.
Ooh dear.
It's one of those things where I feel like Disney think, well, they can probably get away with it because we make so much money. But I'm like, actually, that's actually the reason why you shouldn't get away with this.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at what happened with when Black Widow was streamed on Disney Plus and they didn't give anything to Scarlett Johansson or something. I can't remember what the lawsuit was about, but it's like that. Obviously, she won, but it's not the point. It's the point of that. If you're going to make something and you're not going to entitle the creators or stars in it, then you're kind of just asking for a lawsuit.
Yeah, it's definitely similar as well, especially with the VFX stuff. It's similar to the way like crunch time's been used in video games of late. Like Lego Star Wars had that recently, as did Cyberpunk as well.
Ah, yes.
And probably a few others as well, or even Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto, where people will work like right down to the wire doing like 50-hour weeks or something. I was like, that's absolutely
it must
atrocious.
be hard graft, like excessively hard graft.
Yeah, I mean, like I definitely wouldn't do it. I mean, but then a job's a job at the end.
Do you know what it is? Like, I think when you have, I don't know, let's take something like, I don't know, Thor flying through the sky or something like that. Like, it may be like a 10-second clip or something like that, but like, can you imagine how many hours it actually took just to put all that together as a VFX team?
Sure.
That must have taken absolute hours.
Yeah, I'm sure there was something I can remember reading a while ago. I think things were filmed from a couple of years ago, but oh yeah, it was bloody Transformers 3. There was the sequence with the driller going through the skyscraper towards the end, and like the entire VFX render farm was going, and it took the equivalent of like a couple of years to actually render everything because it was that high tech. And to be honest, even to this day, I mean, look, it's like 11 years old. You'd be hard pressed to realize it looks absolutely spot on. I think it looks absolutely terrific. The film's, but it looks absolutely terrific.
Visual effects side, brilliant, but film.
Yeah, let's just say there are worse Transformers films out there, like 2, 4, 5, and 1. If I'm honest, I actually think the third one's the best one. Hot take again, I suppose, but then again, let's just say I've had bigger hot takes in the last couple of weeks than that, especially last week. But But yes, so, and then the final bit of news we're going to briefly mention, this is something that I thought was quite nice. Anjali Mohindra, who played Rani Chandra in the Sarah Jane Adventures, is coming back.
Yay!
Not visually. Yeah, so she's teamed up with Big Finish to do a spin-off series of a spin-off series.
A spin-off of a spin-off, alright.
Yeah, so it's called Rani Takes on the World, and it's set 15 years after the Sarah Jane Adventures first aired on TV. So she's now a successful journalist in London, but when something otherworldly threatens her beloved city, she steps up to the line of alien defense. This is coming out next April, and we've got 3 stories there. One is Here Today, Destination Wedding, and The Witching Tree. I know I keep on saying that I'm going to be listening to these, because I still haven't. I haven't listened to any of them. I haven't even listened to the 9th Doctor ones, which I really need to.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely loving this. I know that Daniel Anthony's back as Clyde as well, apparently. So I'm like, okay, so when is Tommy Knight back as Luke? Because I quite like that. I just want the trio back again, even if it's just through audio.
The Sarah Jane trio.
Like, honestly,
all these years later.
Yeah, it's one of those funny things, especially when... Because Anjali Mohindra was in Doctor Who in Series 12, but it was as one of the villains, like under a lot of like prosthetics and makeup. You'd be hard-pressed to tell, to be honest. And I was like, why couldn't you have just brought it back as Rani? I would have liked that, to be honest. Although I think her and the 13th Doctor interacted in that podcast thing that they did. I'll be completely honest, I haven't actually listened to that yet. It was that Doctor Who Redacted, I think we spoke about a couple of months ago.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Because I know Rani was in that, and I know the Doctor was in that, so whether or not they actually interacted, I don't know. Apparently that podcast actually did pretty well, so there we go. But yes, that's something I'm looking forward to. And that's it.
You forgot one thing.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Christ, is there another thing? Okay, go on.
Remember that certain shark film anniversary?
Oh, for God, no, we're moving on.
No, yeah, let's move on. Okay, right. Jaws 3D, right? It was the anniversary of Jaws 3D. It came out on the 22nd of July, 1983. Nothing much to say. It's just appalling. I just found it very amusing having to send that article to Regan that with all this celebration towards this film, it's terrible. The 4th is no better. Let's move on.
4th one's worse. Just by
Damn
default.
Passengers! You're all the same. Complain.
Nope, Dan, no.
Oh, shit.
You struck a nerve now. Anyway.
It's the highlight of that film.
Ugh. So that is us talking about the first batch of news. We're going back to the news later on. We're going to move swiftly on to Dan's playlist, of which I dread to think what the hell the number is this week. 'Cause I swear to God if it's more than last week.
It's not more than last week.
Thank God.
It's 30.
Double mine then.
Well, you remember last week how you saying that I watched an entire series of Doctor Who and I can't remember what it was. Like you basically challenged me to finish another Doctor Who series. Well, guess what I've done?
Have you seriously finished Series 7?
Yeah.
Ugh.
It was.
I'm working my way to that in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was questionable.
Yep.
So we're kicking off with a Shudder select here called Uncle Sam. Oh God, this is from 1996. It's basically one of these
sounds
really
very American.
Yeah. Basically, the plot is this veteran gets killed. For some reason, he comes back to life and decides to dress up as the patriotic American symbol, Uncle Sam, and goes on a murderous rampage. Pointless slop is probably the word for it. Pointless patriotic slop.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. Now we go on to Series 7 of Doctor Who, the entire series. Yeah. So obviously Episode 1 is Asylum of the Daleks. Episode 2, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Episode 3, A Town Called Mercy. Episode 4, The Power of Three. The Angels Take Manhattan. Episode 5, ooh, I have my bit to say on that.
Yep.
The Snowmen. Episode 6, The Bells of John. Saint John, that is. Episode 7, The Rings of Akhetan. Or Akhetan. Episode 8. Episode 9, Cold War, The Return of an Ice Warrior.
Chili War.
Chilly War. Slightly below temperature war.
Yes.
Hyde, Episode 10. Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS, episode 11. The Crimson Horror, episode 12.
Crimson Horror.
Nightmare on Silver, episode 13. The Name of the Doctor, episode 14. And, of course, the specials that came with it, which was The Night of the Doctor, which is like a mini-sode starring Paul McCann. And The Day of the Doctor, the 50th anniversary special. And, of course, The Time of the Doctor.
Yeah, we will definitely be getting back to Series 7 in a couple of weeks. Pretty much immediately after one and the other, because they're pretty, pretty much connected.
A weird horror on Shudder again. Now, funny enough, this is from 1996 as well. This is called Head of the Family. It's weird.
Is it literal?
Yeah, like it's this weird, creature person in a mansion that has this huge brain. He can control like members of his family telepathically and stuff. It's weird.
Okay,
it's
great.
weird. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. The Bob's Burgers is the movie.
Oh wow, you actually watched that? Okay, I wasn't.
Yeah. Well, it's because my girlfriend wanted to watch it, so I couldn't exactly persuade her to watch like Halloween 1978, could I? No.
I mean,
I could try.
You could try. It'd be funny.
I could try. The answer's probably going to be no, but you know.
No.
So yeah, she wanted to watch this. It's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd watch it again. It's just entertaining enough, sure, but I don't think I'd watch it again because I'd probably just hate it, to be honest.
Yeah.
A rewatch of Hellraiser from 1987. Been a while since I've rewatched this. You were expecting Halloween, but you were wrong.
I'm always expecting a Halloween though. I can't wait. Just like by default.
Well, can you just wait till I get down the list, please, and then you'll find out for sure. God.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. So, I finally finished the Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 1, so this was episode 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I love this. It's getting better every time. I just love it. It's so bloody good. Something a little different now. You've seen the Bram Stoker version of Dracula, haven't you? The film starring Gary What's-His-Face as Dracula. Yeah, can't remember a second.
Gary What's-His-Face, wow.
Yeah.
As in the one with Neil.
Yes, the one with Neil.
I know where the bastard sleeps.
Yes.
Fucking hate Keanu Reeves in that film. He's atrocious. Yes, I have seen it. It's quite good. I quite like it.
I listened to the audible narration of it, like from the book, and it was really well done because there's a lot of. It's a very thick piece of literature, like compared to the film. There is a lot more in the novel than there is in the film. It's big. I think this was like nearly 20 hours long, or something like that.
Where the hell do you find the time to do this shit?
Well,
honestly?
do you know what it is? Like, I listened to it for like maybe like a few hours each day, and then like it just flew over. So yeah, it was really good. There's a lot of like different portrayals of characters. So they had someone voice Nina Harker, etc., etc. Someone voiced Dracula, etc., etc. It was really good, really well done. Bit long, but obviously, with it being a very old novel, it's kind of what you expect. It's like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein's very large compared to the film as well. The return to GT Online, currently waiting for an update on the 26th of July. I can't wait because I finally don't have to socialise in lobbies with dirty gits who just fly around blowing you up.
Yeah, I will definitely be. I'll definitely be on the evening, so we'll definitely have to give it a go.
Yes, indeedy. Now. Oh god, I'm gonna. Oh no, he knows what's coming. He knows what's coming.
Frickin' Halloween, isn't it?
Guess which one it is, though.
Is it H2O?
No, God, no.
Shit. Resurrection, or have you already watched that one?
Right. I know I have a tendency to watch absolute smut, but what gives you the absolute audacity to question whether I've watched that film again?
Is it because you actually have?
No.
Suddenly it would be funnier if you actually hadn't.
Right, okay. I'll make it slightly easier. It's not the Rob Zombie ones.
Better not be the 2018 one again.
No.
Thank God. I don't know. The Revenge of Michael Myers.
No, that's 6. No. No.
I'm really sorry, Dan. I didn't know the number.
Well, it's called the
Curse of Michael Myers.
Well, it's called the
Return
Curse
of Michael Myers.
That's Halloween 4. No.
Halloween 3?
No.
Is it Hellraiser?
No.
I don't know then.
Halloween 2.
Oh, you pillock. I was only one off.
You were one off. You went down like nearly half the list. So, yeah, I just wanted to rewatch this for the sake of rewatching it.
Oh, really? Did you?
Yeah, because I watched like a retrospective thing on YouTube of somebody talking about like how it basically goes on to influence the rest of the Halloween films, and it was pretty interesting. So I thought I'd rewatch it again. It's really interesting. Well, you haven't seen it, so shut your trap.
Nah.
Making that face. God. Fun, if you want a bit of trivia, John Carpenter, when he was writing the screenplay, he had to have a six-pack of beer next to him. That's why that film is, yeah. Yeah. Because he had no interest in writing it, he just got forced to write it. So he just sat there with a six-pack of beer.
That's actually quite funny because I remember like at the beginning of lockdown, whenever I started writing stuff, I'd always do it with alcohol, but it was mostly just because, well, for one, because it's tasty, but also because it actually made us write kind of easier, which sounds a bit weird. I'm like, so I have to be tipsy when I write. I haven't done that for a while though, so it's fine. I haven't written any script for a very long time.
Yes, that is pretty much everything. Hard to believe there's like 30 things on there. I was actually going to watch more. I was eyeing up this like Spanish horror film, but Halloween 2 kind of just took over that a little bit.
Somehow.
So, yeah. Thank you, Rick Rosenthal, or whatever your name is. I can't really remember. I should know this.
Who the hell are you on about?
The director of Halloween 2 and Halloween Resurrection.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, yeah, because it wasn't actually John Carpenter, because of course not, because why the hell would he?
No.
Okay.
But yes, that is my playlist for this week.
Playlist for this week?
Yes. I mean, if you can call it a playlist, I mean, it's just list at this point.
Play,
like...
watch list, just either or.
A-list.
Yeah, A-list.
Yeah, A-list.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Inglis's playlist.
Decidedly less, as per usual, because, I work 4 or 5 days a week.
And I spend most of the day in a coffin. What's your excuse?
Well, as soon as this podcast ends, you're going to end up in that coffin again.
Well, the difference is I'm undead, you're alive.
Oh, you are not going to be undead for very long. Dun, dun,
Dan
dun.
dies tonight.
Dan dies tonight. Oh, you got to think, what is going to be the catchphrase for Halloween Ends? Because nothing can beat evil dies tonight.
No, nothing
Evil
beats a
ends
very...
tonight.
evil ends tonight. Ah, yes, a bit of an alliteration in there. Because why ever not?
Yeah, exactly. Right, my go then. We're going to kick things off with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes of Horrible History Series 1.
Yes, you're still going with Horrible Histories. Yes,
of course. No, literally. Tuesday was the heat wave, so we weren't at work, thank God. So I think we went through like 4 or 5 episodes of Horrible Histories just on the afternoon. Just why the hell not?
Why ever not?
Gratefully, this has 2 episodes which I think have the funniest jokes I think of the entire show, at least until I get further on. Episode 4 has the one when Alexander the Great is naming like his new territories, and it's just Alexandria again.
I remember that one. And what should we call this one? Alexandria.
And he's just like, maybe when you become a general, you can name your town and you can call it Skinny Mandria. and then he's like, okay, actually no, let's choose a different name. Let's call it Iskenderun. He's like, why? He's like, it's Turkish. It's like, is it Turkish for Alexandria? Yes, it is. I still laugh so hard at that. I think the one from episode 11 I think is the funniest one, when it's the Tudor segments, and they're talking about becoming an executioner. And the one guy that gets through
that one so
um,
well.
and he's like, obviously, as an executioner, you need to understand each noose. So this is the 7 o'clock noose. This is the 9 o'clock noose. this is the noose at 10, and this is the man who came up with that joke. I was like, that is so dark for like a bloody kids show. It's great.
I think it might be the
really
same
selling it
episode
very
as
well, but
Alexander the Great, but is that the one where he has like a little worm on his armor? I'm pretty sure it might be.
yes, because I
Yes.
think literally the next one is of because I think it's the Rotten Romans, and it's Caligula who's
Aye,
completely nuts, and
Caligula, I'm a god!
little wormy, hello.
Yes, General, I like that idea. It still makes me laugh, and that just goes to show how immature I am. If I can laugh at some weird general who dug up armor and has a worm attached to his armor and makes the worm talk.
I'm fairly certain there's like an episode fairly close to that as well. When I think it's Emperor Nero who turns Christians into candles. I was like, I was like, and I'm just trying to picture that in reality. Just like, how the hell does that work? but then I'm not a Roman dictator, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty of horrible histories. Didn't actually finish the first series because, you know, why the hell would we?
You want to savor
next
it.
Up, though. Yeah, next up. Technically, this is a rewatch of Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it's also not. This is
What
the
episode?
Patterson cut. So, I'm not sure if you've heard about this one, but it went rounds a couple of weeks ago. It was someone who watched the show. He's actually a filmmaker in America who took all the footage from the entirety of the Kenobi series and stitched it together into a 2.5 hour film.
Right.
So obviously there's a lot cut out naturally because the show isn't 2.5 hours long. So it speeds up the pacing. It cuts out a lot of like really ropey stuff. Alters the score in a few places to have more original trilogy and prequel stuff, which, you know, whether that's any good, that's entirely up to you. Essentially just to prove that it should have been a movie. It still retains the same basic plot, although Leia, I don't think, is actually kidnapped twice or 3 times. I'll be completely honest, because I was very mixed on the show, and I think you were as well. I think trying to take the kind of pacing and style of a TV show and condense it into a 2.5 hour film is quite haphazard, and I don't think it works entirely well. I think the best comparison I gave it was actually the Clone Wars film that they did in 2008, which was in reality just 4 episodes of the show stitched together. So it was just action scene, stop, action scene, stop, action scene, stop. Much like a TV show.
It is a haphazard thing, especially with, I mean, how long is it altogether? I mean, it's 300 odd minutes or something? 400 minutes?
Which one's?
I don't know. The Obi-Wan Kenobi, the actual like length of the series.
Yeah, I think it's something like 4, maybe 5 hours or something ish.
Yeah,
possibly.
like
I don't know, because I mean, like some of the episodes kind of dropped entirely in terms of like runtime. Yeah, it doesn't really work very well. I don't think. Some bits are changed. There's some bits I quite liked. Reva is decidedly more interesting. That's actually the biggest change that they do. At the end of episode 5, when she's left for dead by Vader and the Grand Inquisitor, she actually dies. She actually stays dead, and they completely remove the subplot of her going to Tatooine to look for Luke, which I like, to be honest, because that entire escapade was completely redundant because there's no tension. It's like, oh no, what are you going to do to Luke? It's like, well, we've seen 3 films where he's the focus, like, so I think he's okay. But yeah, she's decidedly more interesting, not just because she dies. I don't want to make it out like that. But at the same time, it doesn't really. I've given it the same rating because it's neither better nor worse, especially because I think it's like the equivalent of a essentially watching the theatrical cut of a film after watching the extended cut, and you're like, there's a decent amount that's been cut out, and I know what's been cut out, and it's really surreal to watch it, where you're like, there's a bit missing here, but I know what that bit is.
It's kind of like with Alien 3, then with the assembly cut and the theatrical. It's kind of like that then.
Definitely, yeah.
When you watch them side by side, and then when you watch Obi-Wan pieced together and stitched together into a film compared to the series, it's like, well, that's missing. Oh, that's in there now. Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah. I would say
you know what it is? The more I think about it, the more I'm starting to dislike that series.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that that'll probably come up in conversation at some point in the future, because we'll probably look back on it at some point.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Halo Season 1, Episode 7. Gotta love the fact that I mentioned last week, where it's like, imagine if like the next episode is complete dog shit, because I actually quite like the previous episode. This is about as close to dog shit as this series has gone. This was
I knew this was gonna happen.
But it's annoying because it focuses on one of the new characters that they introduced at the beginning of the series, who is about as compelling as a teaspoon, which is doing a massive disservice to teaspoons, frankly.
of the week.
Yeah, teaspoon. Yeah, I don't care at all in this one, because Master Chief is completely absent. That being said, you know what it is? I've actually been listening to the main theme that plays over the titles at the beginning. I actually quite like it. It's actually quite good. Yeah, it's not entirely the main Halo theme. Hopefully we'll get that in Season 2. But also, for some reason, Master Chief looks better in that than he does in the actual show. But that's probably because he's just all CGI in the titles, whereas he's like an actual, probably closer to a nice hybrid between Doctor Who and a properly good-looking Master Chief costume, as in it looks, like a blend between relatively cheap and relatively good looking. I was just annoyed that I really didn't like it. It was just poo. I think there's 2 more episodes. I'm like, God damn it. Just like,
so the question is, will this next episode be dog shit, or will it just be redeeming?
Here's the thing.
Tune in next week.
Well, here's the thing. I will be addressing something that happens in episode 8, because I know exactly what it is, because people wouldn't stop talking about it, and it's probably going to be the most controversial thing in the history of anything ever. Not really, it's just really stupid. But we'll get to that next week when I inevitably watch it, because I hate myself. Next up, I finally restarted my Shudder thing. Eventually, I've even got the Shudder app on the TV now, because Amazon's been really weird with their channels. You can't actually get Shudder through it now, or you can.
Yeah,
I just don't know how to do it.
I originally did that, but then for some reason it just wasn't working, so I cancelled it and then got the app and then signed up through the app. So it's like a separate thing now. It's weird.
Yeah, so it's like a $5 a month. I do actually recommend it. It's got some decent stuff on there. This wasn't. This is actually quite disappointing. I watched a film called The McPherson Tape.
Yes, I haven't seen it, but it's in my list on Shudder.
It's fun. This has been on my watch list for a while, only because I saw the Blu-ray from 101 Films on Amazon a while ago, and it billed itself as one of the first proper found footage films. So this was released in 1989, and it's just over an hour long. So it's a found footage thing of a family getting together, and they encounter a couple of aliens that begin to try and break into the house. And because it's shot in 1989, video quality is very 1989.
Yeah.
In that it's not like the equivalent of, I don't know, something like Cloverfield, which I think is still like the gold standard for found footage, quite frankly. That's actually got its 15th anniversary next year. I think it's in January, so I think we've already got an episode planned for that now, just by default.
Automatically now.
Yeah, because why the hell not? Yeah, this really wasn't very interesting, annoyingly. Despite it being 64 minutes long, it's very, very slow. And I don't want to judge it too much on the visuals, because again, with it being found footage, it's kind of difficult to really judge, because it's going to look pretty cheap.
Yeah.
I think they've said that the behind the scenes of the film is more interesting than the film itself, where uh, all but a few of the tapes were actually lost in a warehouse fire. So it wasn't until I think it was 2018 when they found a couple of old tapes, restored them, and then put them out on DVD and Blu-ray. So that's where the 101 films release came from. So I believe this is the one that's on Shudder. That's already more interesting than the actual film.
Yeah.
The aliens look very
1989.
They look very much like Paul from Paul.
Oh no. The stereotypical alien look. Oh no.
Well, it's annoying because like the final shot is of the guy finally dropping the camera and sort of like getting with his family to just like defend the house, and it just stays on the hallway, and then you see the three aliens come through and sort of like walk towards the humans, and they don't even realize, and it literally just looks like a couple of trick-or-treaters just walking in. It doesn't look very good at all. Again, 1989 with a budget of probably like 17 cents.
17 cents.
Maybe 18. Give it like a stretch of 20. But I've seen worse, but I've also seen far better. Which is very much the same thing I can say for the next one, which is a brand new release, The Grey Man, starring Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans, directed by the Russo brothers, now on Netflix. Based on, I don't know how popular or how good the book is, but there we go. Let's just say that the cast is far better than this film. Chris Evans really hams it up as like a really over the top CIA operative with a rather good looking mustache. Not like nearly as compelling as Henry Cavill's mustache in Mission Impossible 6, but it's a pretty close one. Ana de Armas is also in this, which I thought was quite funny. So that's now two recent spy films that she's been in that are connected to Knives Out, one of which with Daniel Craig, and the other with Chris Evans, both of who were in Knives Out.
Coincidence?
I cannot wait for the next one. I mean, possibly. I hope to God I really hope she cameos in Knives Out 2. That'd be quite funny. She won't though. That wouldn't make any sense.
Well, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, considering what it is, it's bound to happen.
Well, exactly. But yeah, the Grey Man was crap. Didn't care at all. 2 hours and 9 minutes, and it feels like 7 hours and 46 minutes. You know what it is? Actually, the direction is pretty poor, and that's saying a lot considering it's the Russo brothers who did, Infinity War and Endgame, but then also did Cherry with Tom Holland, which apparently was pretty poo. So yeah, it's a bit, I wouldn't say it was disappointing because even the trailers looked a bit meh.
Yeah.
There's also
it's just one of those average/mediocre films then.
Yeah, and the first scene is set like 18 years before like the rest of the film. So you've got a de-aged Ryan Gosling and a de-aged Billy Bob Thornton. I didn't buy it for a second. He looked very, very smooth.
He looked very smooth.
Yes, very, very smooth. I'm like, are you telling me that you're 18 years younger than what you actually are because you sound identical? It's pretty much identical to what happened with Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel, whereas like he looks really young until he starts running, and then he looks like he's in his 60s.
They just like green screen the walking stick, so.
And then the final watch. I cannot even explain a reason for this. I can't even defend myself for this.
Oh dear. Okay. Release.
I'll say this. This is last night's watch. It was initially going to be Alien versus Predator, which I don't mind. I actually think it's quite fun for what it is.
That's tolerable.
But then it was funny because me and my girlfriend wanted to watch something a little bit silly and a little bit stupid, and like, well, it could be Alien vs Predator. I was very close to doing one of the Amazing Spider-Mans, but then I can't pick between them because both are equally rubbish. One better looking, but with 750 plots, and the other one having a basketball for a suit. So, yeah. I was like, there isn't really like a win-win scenario here. So we actually forgot that we watched the clip that's on Disney Plus for the 2015 Fantastic Four,
No.
which made my girlfriend laugh only because she was like, "Why the hell does the Thing? Why is the Thing completely stark bollock naked?" I was like, "Well, you're gonna have to watch the film and find out." I was like, "All right."
So you watched the 2015 Fantastic Four?
I'd actually forgot how boring it is. That being said, I did make
So
her laugh
you've
really
chosen
hard at the
a
beginning.
Borefest.
Yeah, but I did make her laugh at the beginning because Dan Castellaneta is in it as Reed Richards' teacher, who of course voices Homer Simpson. And he's talking about his biomatter shuttle that can transform matter. And I thought back to the episode of The Simpsons when he's talking to Professor Frink, and Homer's like, "It only transports matter." I was like, I'm just thinking of Homer Simpson lines now, to just make it better. And also, I just love the fact that they're trying to suggest that Miles Teller and Jamie Bell are supposed to be like 16, 17, 18. I'm like, mate, you look like you're nearly in your 30s. Why the hell are you in high
Yeah,
school?
do you know what it is? I think I'm just going to wait until a new Fantastic Four film comes out rather than indulge in the absolute smut that we have with that franchise.
Oh yeah, you know what? Well, look, they've had 4 attempts and all of them have been garbage. So attempt number 5 is gonna be golden.
But yeah,
It's literally gonna be the Citizen Kane. Like, my God.
Yeah.
But somehow, imagine if it was worse. Imagine if it was worse.
Well, I mean, we won't know for sure, but
Yeah, we'll see.
with a record of 4 terrible films, that doesn't exactly look good.
One of which wasn't even officially released. But yes, that is my... Oh, actually, one more thing. This is just the one game I'll reference. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Finally finished all 9 films. Still plenty to do. I'm really torn on this one. Like, once I finished it, I actually went back to play Lego Marvel Superheroes, the first one they did in 2013.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't care what anyone says. That game is great. Like, it's really, really great.
It's great.
Well, here's the thing, because you've literally got in like every single mission, there's like a Stan Lee in peril thing, so you have to save Stan Lee from some sort of thing, and then once you do all of them, you unlock Stan Lee as a playable character, and he turns into Stan Hulk.
Yes.
I'm
pretty sure there's like an achievement for it as well. I'm pretty sure you just transform it. It's like Stan Hulk unlocked. Like, oh wow.
I'm not gonna lie, there was also an achievement for turning into the Hulk 50 times, which I hadn't got yet, so I just spent about 10 minutes just constantly turning into the Hulk. There was also one where you had to, where you got an achievement, it's only, well, I turned on the second controller, I didn't do it in co-op, but where you have one of the characters be Captain America and the other one be the Human Torch, and it's like, you look familiar. Because obviously it's...
Chris Evans, yeah.
Yeah, I quite like that. Yeah, I'm much... That one to me is the best Lego game. This one, there's things I like in it, but I still despise how much it speeds through the plot. And honestly, some of the stuff, especially Return of the Jedi, that's actually used in the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, which I'm not gonna lie, I actually find is actually quite funny. The stuff with the Emperor is far funnier in that than it is in this. But yeah, that being said, I'll probably end up playing a lot more.
I think the Lego games of films have a really good hilarity to them. Like the Jurassic World one. I don't know if you've played it, right? But the scene...
No, I didn't play it.
Well, if you recall back to Jurassic World, right? You know the scene with the Indominus Rex and it starts communicating with the raptors. There's like this Lego... and obviously, like, in the film, it's communicating through via clicks and stuff like this. In the Lego version, it's just doing, like, sign language. So, like, it's, like, doing, like, things with its arms crying and that. I was just sat absolutely buckled. And there's still, like, Indominus Rex wiping the tears away. I was like, oh, my God. What even is this?
I actually thought about how Jurassic Park should have ended.
With the raptor.
And I just love how it's like a do's and don'ts about running Jurassic World, and for some reason the Indominus Rex has like a proper like Southern American accent.
I know.
I'm like, first of all, it talks English, but then again, I still think the one from Jurassic Park is better with the Velociraptor trying to get get through the door and it starts talking English only because it is literally just watching them talk and it's like,
Yeah.
I can now evolve then.
Congratulations, you evolved.
Yeah. But anyway,
I'm
yes,
pretty sure there
that
was
has
an
been my,
achievement on the Lego Jurassic World called Hello John, and it was basically you just switched to John, and then the other side of it switched to John Hammond as well, and then the achievement pops
oh,
up,
for
Hello
God's
John.
sake.
Yeah. I was like, oh, for God's sake.
Please tell me that one of the playable characters in that is Mr. DNA.
Yes.
Please tell me. Oh, thank
Yeah,
God.
you
Okay,
you
that's
do.
fine.
Yeah. I think it's you've got to unlock like all the mini kit things or something like that, or whatever they're called in the Lego one. It's like the mini fossils or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get them through that.
I'm fairly certain it's still on discount until the end of this month, so I might.
You got to
I might
play
get
it.
if
It's so
cheap.
funny. It's so funny.
Only if it's cheap, because. But yes, anyway, that has been my playlist. We're now going to get back to the news, because there's lots of news.
Oh yes.
So we'll talk about Marvel a little bit later. I'm just going to breeze through some of the. I'm going to call the smaller things, but not really. They're just stuff that isn't DC or Marvel. We got our first look at the next chapter in the National Treasure series with National Treasure: Edge of History. 16-second trailer. Somehow made it look atrocious. You had 16 seconds.
You had 16 seconds to make something good.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I really want to rewatch the second film because I mean, look, those films aren't like critical darlings. They're not the greatest films ever. And no offense, the whole subplot of him kidnapping the president in the second film is only to have him in the trailer say, "I'm going to kidnap the president of the United States," which sounds awesome, and that entire thing is just silly. This does have Harvey Keitel back as whoever the government guy plays, whoever the hell he is in the previous ones, and whoever plays Riley apparently is in it. Then I'm like, okay, where's Nicolas Cage? Because he's the only person I'm interested in, and he's not in this. I'm like, well, screw that then. I don't care. This is coming to Disney Plus at some point next year. I ain't watching it. Sorry. I don't know. I mean, I'm just not.
The very, very critical opinion of Regan is, I ain't watching it.
Literally, after 16 seconds, I'm like, nope, forget it.
Forget about it.
I turn my back on your entire people.
Yep.
We also got a new trailer for The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. I haven't been talking about. I mean, a couple of reasons. One, I don't care for Lord of the Rings. I will watch the trilogy at some point this year, but mostly just to say that I've seen it. I'm not watching the extended ones. You can get lost. But also, I really despise reading people's opinions on this show because it's actually really disgusting. Like, I think people are... I mean, like, generally, if you go into it, they literally rant about why you can't have, like, say, like, the elves be portrayed the way they are in this show, because according to the book, I'm like, this is not the book. This is a different medium.
Stupid book loyalists.
That being said, even the trailers for the series before didn't really blow my mind. Also because I wasn't really sure what it was supposed to be. Because I thought, is this supposed to be a prequel to the films? Or is it a prequel to the books? And by the looks of things, it is actually a prequel to the films. And this does actually look quite interesting, I think.
I've got some interest in watching it, if only because I've seen, I think, the first two Lord of the Rings films. I haven't seen the last one yet. I will get around to that.
I've only seen the first. But
they're long.
Years
I
ago.
mean, there's no doubt about that. They're long. The extended are even longer. They're
well
entertaining
done.
from what I remember. I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, look, I only watched the second Hobbit film purely because it was around the time of my birthday and I wanted to see something at the cinema. And I think it was a toss-up between that and probably Despicable Me something or other. And at that point, I'm not going to see that. So, and also I just really wanted to see a little bit of context to seeing that like viral video of Benedict Cumberbatch just running around on the ground in motion capture costume, just like
the desolation of Smaug. Oh yes, the behind the scenes of him as the dragon. It's just it's so mind blowing. Like, I actually didn't know he played the dragon, and then when I saw the behind the scenes of it, and he's just on the floor doing all the crazy ass movements, like, I smell a hobbit. I was like, oh my god,
I am fire. Like, Okay. Thanks,
Okay,
Benny.
Benedict. Okay.
Yeah.
We get it. You're a greedy dragon. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks vaguely interesting. I mean, look, it's on Amazon Prime and it's what, $200 million? I'm like, you better be worth $200 million.
I think I'm definitely going to give it a watch, but as I've mentioned in numerous episodes, I have far too much TV stuff to catch up on. So it's going to be a while.
Yeah, we know. Yeah. We also had a first trailer for John Wick Chapter 4. I've not got much to say on this one because I still haven't watched the third one, and I don't believe you've watched any of them, I feel like.
No, I was about to say
No.
I haven't watched any of them. I have no interest in watching any of them.
Well, I just love the fact that the whole plot of the first film exists purely because someone shoots his dog, and he just basically goes on a rampage. I'm like, you know what? That is literally the most realistic action film plot you could come up with. There's like
So
someone
it's
kills your
basically
dog,
Rambo,
you're gonna
but
go on a
instead of a
rampage.
girl, it's a dog.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, literally. That being said, the first one's
And
actually
Keanu
pretty fun. Yeah, the second one people love. I thought was pretty naff, which is why I haven't got into the third one as quickly as I did because I thought I can't because people really like that one. But also, I don't understand the title because it's John Wick Chapter 3 Parallelum or something or Parabellum.
Something
I'm like, what the?
like that, yeah.
I was like, what the hell is a Parabellum? Like, I don't get it. Parallelum. That being. Yeah, but then it's a trailer for a film that's not out until next March. So I'm like, oh, how weird. Like,
So they
I
announced
honestly
it,
thought we
and then
were
they're just
past
like,
this.
yeah, trailer's coming next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it looked alright. I mean, I will eventually get the third one only because I just want Keanu Reeves to have a consistent franchise because he hasn't got one. Because The Matrix definitely isn't until I see the fourth one. By default, it's not going to be very good. I'm sure I'll be baffled. I'll be baffled if it's any good. And then there's also, I feel you probably have more to say on this. We've got Tales of the Walking Dead. I don't give a shit about The Walking Dead. I've already said this before.
Yes.
So I'll let Dan take over that bit because I feel like he's got things to say on that I don't.
Yeah, I think this was going to happen with The Walking Dead because as I've mentioned in previous episodes, they're obviously ending The Walking Dead, which is another announcement that Comic-Con have sort of put down a trailer for season 11, which is going to be, well, the last remaining part of the season is going to be airing on October 2nd.
Thank God.
You haven't even seen it, so be quiet.
I've seen the first season and I was like, how the hell can you do this for 12 seasons? I'm like, the zombies surely the zombies would have gotten you by now. Like, honestly.
Yeah, so this is called Finish the Fight, of what it is. I don't know how they're going to end it. I hope they just do something decent. I'm not expecting utter brilliance at the end of the day. This has gone on for far too long. It should have ended a while ago.
Hang on a
as
second.
I've said.
Hang on a second. Did you say what? Something is the tagline for that "Finish the Fight"?
Yeah,
As in they've literally ripped off the tagline for Halo 3. The Mars.
I didn't even think about that until you said that. Wow.
I did immediately. The leeching.
Wow.
The thievery.
Yeah,
The highwaymen.
Tales for the Walking Dead is this, well, new idea of it, and from
Anthology
first impression
series
of
or
it,
something,
it's
isn't it?
basically like an anthology series of just
Yeah.
different stories of different characters in the Walking Dead universe. How close it sticks to the actual universe, or whether it's just like a different part of the country, or if it's like set years before or after, it's not made quite clear yet. But yeah, I'm pretty interested in it. I mean, because I'm going to be pretty lost when this ends, even if some of the seasons have been a bit of a waste of time.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, and the spin-off starring Andrew Lincoln and Michonne, I'm not even going to pronounce her name because I'm just going to butch it up.
I think it's Danny Guerrero. I believe
Yes,
that's how you pronounce
basically,
it.
because I'm not
Probably,
even going to
'cause
attempt
why
to say
not?
that. I'm sorry, but I can't. Yeah, they're having their own spin-off thing now. This is interesting because there was a rumor of a film being produced just solely for Rick Grimes, the main protagonist.
I heard that.
That is now completely gone and is being taken by this, which is going to be sometime in 2023 apparently. From
Oh, right. Okay, so them two aren't in Tales of the Walking Dead. That's something else entirely.
it's like its
Okay,
own
I got
thing.
that completely
So
wrong then.
I'm assuming when this ends, when The Walking Dead ends, so like the original Walking Dead ends, this is gonna kind of pick up the pieces of just like it's something to just watch for the time being, and then we're gonna focus on a spin-off. So I guess we'll see how things go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit mixed on it because I've got a feeling that they're gonna kind of just rush this, and I don't want it to be rushed. They've had an awful lot of time to plan this, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Come October.
I mean, I won't. But you know.
No, of course you would. Even if you were remotely interested, you would have a hell of a time catching up.
Yeah, I've got. Here's the thing. Eventually, I want to finally get to Game of Thrones, only because my girlfriend's mum has watched it. I'm thinking that's so funny that she's watched it and I haven't.
I think
and she actually really liked it.
Like a few seasons, maybe like towards the end. I don't think I've seen the last season.
I've only seen season 1, and that's it. Now we'll talk about the multitude of DC stuff that was actually revealed, and by multitude I mean a massive amount, and by a massive amount I mean 2. Honest to God, they look like garbage compared to everything else again. Let's kick off with frickin' Black Adam. I really hope that this actually beats Morbius for being the worst comic book film of 2022. I really hope it does, because it looks absolutely derivative. It just looks... It looks like every other superhero film ever. It also looks really cringy, really corny, really stupid. And while it's fun to see Dwayne Johnson as a superhero, I'd rather see him as the superhero he plays in Fast and Furious.
Or every other character that he plays.
Yeah, because I mean, like, even in that bloody film Skyscraper, he's literally a superhero in that. In Rampage, he's a superhero in that as well. I really hated the fact. I mean, I don't know if you saw the clip of it, but they basically did a Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, I watched the new trailer of it.
Yeah, and he basically came out on stage in the costume and started talking as Black Adam. I'm like, please don't. Like, Tom Hiddleston can do it because he has gravitas and is also a good actor. Dwayne Johnson is just a really likable guy. He's just not a very good actor. Sorry, Dwayne.
Yeah, I mean, sticking with DC, I don't know if you saw this as well, but DC have no plans to release / make any more Snyderverse films.
Yeah, I was going to reference that, yeah. I mean, look, no one was surprised at this. Well, people acted surprised. People also got angry because Henry Cavill wasn't there to confirm he's come back as Superman. That was never going to be a thing.
Well, it was never on the table anyway, like, you know.
Well, here's the thing. I think, like, people claiming it was. If it doesn't come out by Hollywood Reporter, Variety, or Deadline, don't believe it. Whereas the stuff that gets revealed about Marvel, most of it actually was, as it turns out. But the Snyderverse is done. They donated it. Plus, they can't do any more because Ben Affleck doesn't want to be Batman. That should be it.
Yep.
If he doesn't want to do it, then just don't bother.
We don't need another 4-hour film. We don't.
No.
We just don't.
And let's face it, well, I'll definitely watch the Snyder Cut again, but in a while, I'll probably watch just like the odd clip and just listen to the 4-hour soundtrack, of which is now available on vinyl, which I am still waiting
for the price of like 300 odd quid or something like that. It's pretty damn expensive. I think I'll just stick to Spotify.
I mean, I think it'd be quite funny if you only got one present for Christmas and it was just the Snyderverse, but it was the Snyder Cut on vinyl. I'm like, I would fully expect that.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
I'm not tempting you. I'm trying to tell your family to do that.
Ho, ho, ho! So, little Dan, what do you want for Christmas? Santa, I want the 4LP of Snyder's Justice League on vinyl.
And it's like, oh, you're fucking kidding me. No, absolutely not. Naughty list.
Well, you know that. Oh, what a fine selection by Junkie XL. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, I can't imagine he'd be pleased with me, to be honest. I think he'd probably just draw my attention to something a bit less costly and probably better.
Yeah.
Hot take?
Maybe just like the action figure of Batman. We also got our first trailer. Finally, a first trailer at Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which...
To be released on January 5th, apparently.
Is it January? I could have sworn it was December.
Yeah, it was at the end of the trailer.
Ah, balls. Right, okay. Bastard. Yeah, look, this looks like so much fun. I love the updated suits. I love the family dynamic. Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu as the villains just look so entertaining.
Yeah.
The CGI is a lot stronger than the first film.
Oh, without
Despite
a doubt. I noticed a significant improvement just straight up front. I thought, okay, this is
yeah,
like 100 times better than the first film's ever been.
yeah,
And
it
I'm not
does
too
look.
big on the first film, so
I really want to rewatch it because I know a lot of people are really. I mean, like some people think it's like the best film in the DCEU, which let's face it, there's not a whole lot of competition.
Yeah.
Currently, for me, it's still like Man of Steel, but even then, that's not a great film.
I think
I
mine's
definitely have to rewatch
Aquaman.
it.
I'm pretty sure mine's Aquaman. I could
I'd
be
have to
wrong.
rewatch it, but then I don't want to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Like, but anyway, yeah, I thought this looks really fun, and if it is really January, I'm now really annoyed.
Yeah,
I
I'm,
could have
I'm
sworn it
pretty
was
sure
coming
it's
out the
January
week
5th
after
because it's like
Avatar.
right at the end of the trailer where it's like in cinemas, January 5th.
I must have forgot that bit. Okay, fair enough then.
There is an awful lot of stuff, so it's no wonder you've got confused. So you've been
there's
let
a
off the
lot.
leash on that one.
Yeah. I suppose we can move to the Marvel stuff. We'll leave the Phase 4, 5, and 6 fiasco a little bit because that all came out like literally. We're literally recording this on Sunday evening. It came out for me literally when I got
Yeah.
up at about 8 o'clock this morning. I was like, right, that's a lot of screenshots I need to do. Excellent, thank God.
Yep.
We'll kick things off with Spider-Man freshman year.
Yes.
Now, this has already been renewed for a second season, titled how? Okay, I don't know how you pronounce it because I only ever hear it with an American accent. Is it sophomore year or is it sophomore or is it? I don't know what it is. I don't know what a sophomore is.
Sophomore.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I'm British. I don't know.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm freaking British. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
But yeah, we got confirmation the freshman year. The animated prequel series thing is debuting in 2024. Tom Holland isn't in it, but Charlie Cox is voicing Daredevil.
Yes.
It features Rhino, Scorpion, I have questions, and the Tarantula. I'm like, is he like really tall, really hairy, and really bitey? Much
And
like an
has
actual
8
tarantula.
legs.
Yeah. It's also been confirmed that there is going to be another mentor thing, that being Norman Osborn. So Norman Osborn exists in this universe, but Oscorp doesn't exist because Oscorp doesn't exist in No Way Home. It specifically said like when the Willem Dafoe version rocks up, he goes looking for Oscorp, but it doesn't exist, and
Yep.
his son doesn't exist. So what the hell is this? Because also Peter doesn't reference the fact he knows a Norman Osborn now. Like, but also Scorpion. Scorpion is in Spider-Man: Homecoming, played by the guy who's in Far Cry 3, is whatchamacallit.
Oh,
And he's actually got Michael
Can't remember his
Mando.
name. Yeah, it's that dude.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is this? I don't actually know what it is. I do quite like the art design. There was a little bit of concept art released. You do see like an another homemade suit, but it's got like it looks like a football jersey on.
Yeah, I
Doctor
saw
Strange
it.
is also in it, and he looks very comic booky.
Yeah,
I
I was
think I also
instantly
saw.
I was instantly taken to the comic-y stuff of it because
Mm-hmm.
of the way it looks. So I think that's a good touch to it. So
Yeah. I don't know what this is going to be. It's also annoying that Tom Holland isn't in this, but then again, he didn't voice Peter Parker in What If, even if it's a different version.
yeah,
But has the same suit, basically.
yeah,
We also got a first trailer at I Am Groot.
yes.
So these are 5 shorts that are releasing. I don't know if it's from the 10th of August or if all 5 are just
I think
on the 10th
it's
of
just
August.
like starting on the 10th of August because that's usually
Right.
where it happens. So it'll be like every week after the 10th of August. I'm assuming anyway, unless they just decide to do it from like they release it early and then like everything is done by the 10th or something. But that wouldn't really make
I
a lot of
honestly
sense.
don't know. Yeah, I mean, look, it looks silly. It looks kind of fun. I do like.
It's very
Baby Groot
Grooty.
quite a bit. Yeah, but then also, when the hell
I'm
is this
Groot.
set? Because he's like teenage Groot in the more recent film.
Yeah,
so is
I
this,
was
like,
I
set
was
after
thinking about
Volume
this as
2?
well, Regan. I think this is somewhere set between like just after the first Guardians of the Galaxy, because obviously like he's like little baby Groot. So
Yeah.
I think it's somewhere in the Guardians timeline, somewhere. It hasn't really been made clear yet, so
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
We also got confirmation about What If Season 2. That's coming out in early
Yes.
2023. We did see, I think, a little bit of concept art. So Shang-Chi's in it. I think Kate Bishop is in it. Yelena's in it.
Yeah.
And a few others, which I'm quite glad with, because I'd rather they do something. For one, they need to go all out now, because they've done, like, so, like, what's it called? Like, Infinity Ultron? I don't know what it's called. Ultron Prime or Ultron Supreme or something. Just go balls to the wall. Just go completely crazy, please, because Multiverse of Madness was so safe. This should be the Multiverse of Madness.
Yep.
So I am actually looking forward to this. Just go completely nuts, because you've got that possibility. Plus, it's in animation form. You can do a lot more.
Yep.
Rant over.
Now, speaking of What If, Marvel Zombies, they've finally done something.
Yeah, I was waiting for this.
Finally.
I'm assuming it's still set in the same universe of that episode. What If Zombies? So I'm quite interested. And then we also got confirmation about X-Men 97, fall 2020. Now, look, did you actually watch the 90s animated series of X-Men?
No, but I'm going to.
I mean, look, I only know it because of the theme tune, which is fucking awesome.
Yes.
I
know the theme tune. I do know the theme tune. I just need to actually sit down and watch it.
Yeah, I do actually kind of prefer the theme that's in the newer X-Men films by John Ottman. I actually really like that one a lot. In particular with X-Men Apocalypse, I think it's the best version. But that's just me. That's all the slightly lower end stuff. We'll call it the slightly lower end, because, my God, superhero fatigue just isn't a thing anymore. Despite the fact we spoke about it, we're like, we don't know what the hell the direction.
I'll mention one more Marvel thing, because I thought this was so interestingly strange of Marvel.
Okay.
I don't know. You've probably seen this, because this is pretty low end in terms of like everything else. But Marvel have announced that they're doing like real life Infinity Stones as a collection.
What?
Yeah. Did you not see this? This is like
no.
So they're getting real like gems, like Infinity Stones. So it's like real life Infinity Stones, and this is like just straight up for rich collectors. Because this is a total value of $25 million. Like, they're rare cut gems and stuff like this, and they're getting put in like a gauntlet and stuff. It's just madness. $25 million, it's going to like equal nuts.
So I'm assuming they're going to sell one, and it's going to go to Elon Musk, probably. I have it now. I am inevitable.
It's Avengers. Avengers: The Rise of Elon. Oh God! Oh no! The Tesla torment! Oh no! It's gonna have an army of Teslas coming after us. But yeah, I thought that was pretty
Tesla bots.
Shocking. Tesla bots. Oh God!
Dun dun dun. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know about that. Yeah. Let's get on to. We now have a direction for Phase 4, in that it's ending this year. I can actually remember this being a thing a while ago where I think Kevin Feige said the Phase 4 was already going to be short. Well, it's not shorter. In terms of the years, it is actually short. It's just 2 years. In terms of hours, it's like three times longer than everything else. I'm pretty certain there was a graph that went viral around the time of Thor: Love and Thunder came out.
Yeah.
And it was like 50 hours or something worth of Phase 4. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was something pretty big 50? Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was chunky, without a doubt.
Yeah, so we know that Phase 4 is going to end with She-Hulk Attorney at Law in August, which we've got a new trailer for. Looks still crap. I'm actually going to say, I think one of my biggest issues with it actually is there's a shot where you see of Emil Blonsky turning into Abomination, and it's just a pan up, and he's just immediately Abomination.
Oh yeah, I know.
I miss like the transformation sequences as opposed to
ta-da. That irked me. I'm not gonna lie, because it was just this. Yeah, it irked me. Yeah. What happened to transformations? What happened?
Exactly.
Why? I don't want to see somebody just like poof I'm Abomination.
Yeah, I've seen some people criticize the fact that She-Hulk seems to have more control over her abilities than the Hulk, but if you read the comics, that is literally who She-Hulk is. That's kind of her thing. We
Yep.
also get proper confirmation that she's breaking the fourth wall. Um, Not nearly as like not exactly like Deadpool, probably something kind of in between. Um, we also get a confirmation that the Daredevil's going to be in it with his red and yellow suit, which you see at the very end. I was like, well, we all knew that Daredevil had to be in this because he's also a bloody superhero lawyer, so
Yeah, as
you
well
kind
as
of have to.
Wong. Wong is
Oh,
making
Wong! This is actually Phase Wong. It isn't
Phase
Phase
Wong.
4. I mean, if you think about it, which one is he not in? I think it's just Black Widow and Eternals. Everything else he's in.
Yeah, everything else he just seems to have a little cameo in.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it looked rubbish, but we know that the film side of things is going to end with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever this November, which has its first trailer.
Yes.
I think that this one was always going to be a difficult one, obviously with the passing of Chadwick Boseman. I can't remember if that was last year or the year before.
I think it was the year before.
Yeah, 2020, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
So obviously the direction of where this was going to go has now been confirmed with the trail that they have killed off T'Challa in this universe, which I suppose you kind of had to.
Yeah.
So I kind of understood that. I quite like the trailer. I mean, I'm not even that big on the first one. I thought it was actually pretty solid up until the third act, which is I think the same for like a lot of these films. Like Shang-Chi was pretty much identical. Like I really liked this until the third act. Similar to Eternals,
Magic dragon
except
fight.
yeah, unlike Eternals, where I didn't like it, and then the third act happened, and I liked it even less. Fucking Eternals. But yeah, this one I'm quite interested in. I'll definitely go and see it. Even if I know some people are a bit iffy on it, namely with I'm trying to remember who would. I think it's Letitia Wright, because apparently she's been getting a lot of flack behind the scenes, because apparently she's been somewhat controversial when it came to COVID and vaccines. For me, the only reason I'd be slightly uninterested is because I don't really like her character in the films anyway. She's a bit too over the top. But who knows? Maybe with her being, because I think she's classed as the lead. It's either her or Lupita Nyong'o. One of them two is the lead, so that's really quite interesting. We also get Martin Freeman back. I'm like, I actually forgot that Martin Freeman was even in this franchise.
I know.
I was like, what the hell has he been doing? But anyway, yeah. So Phase 4 is ending with that. We now have the confirmation that Phase 4, 5, and 6 have now got an official title, similar to Phase 1, 2, and 3 with the Infinity Saga. This is, unsurprisingly, the Multiverse Saga. I'm like, great, more multiverse bullshit. Yay. Just like, you gotta wonder, when we were talking about Multiverse of Madness, it's like, how long is it gonna take for like Hollywood or Marvel to just milk this whole multiverse thing? As it turns out, it was like a month or two.
Yeah, it hasn't exactly been long.
No, it hasn't. So Phase 5 begins with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yep.
And in February 2023, once again directed by Peyton Reed. Kang the Conqueror is in this, as is MODOK, who had his own animated series, I think, last year or the year before, which I didn't watch, starring Patton Oswalt as MODOK. That isn't actually connected to the MCU.
Didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it either. Yeah, I mean, I rewatched the first one, like, I think it was like a month ago or something, and I thought it was okay. I've not wanted to watch the second one, because I think it's pretty rubbish. So I'm curious how this one's going to go, especially considering it's in February and we haven't actually seen anything beyond. There was a poster released.
Yeah, I've looked at the poster because it was it sort of had the thing of that there's a look at Kang the Conqueror and stuff. So
in the background, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm quite interested, but at the same time, I'm not like jumping at it, frankly. What I am actually quite interested in is Secret Invasion, which is
spring
coming to Disney
2023.
Plus
That's
spring.
going to be.
Yeah,
Disney Plus.
So we know that Maria Hill, Nick Fury, and Talos are going to be clashing with a group of Skrulls who've been infiltrating Earth for years, apparently. Which that is straight out of Secret Invasion, which I read, I think it was last year or the year before. It's really good, actually. I really like that one. Apparently, there's been a lot of issues behind the scenes with this one. I mean, we haven't spoke about it just because like the rumors are very like vague and kind of like spread out.
Yeah,
And
we
also
don't want to
that's just how
exactly
rumours
speak
work.
about stuff that's just vague at best.
Yeah, but I am quite interested. I'm curious how that's going to go and how much that's going to tie into the future of the MCU. Because I think if you're going to do Secret Invasion, that's a big thing to do. That's very, very big. Because then you got a question: are they going to reveal that there's a lot of superheroes in their films where they've actually just been Skrulls the entire time? That'd be a bit of a mind fuck. We'll say that.
just slightly.
Slightly, yeah. We also now know that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 got a brand new logo as well. That's like the third logo they've had. May 2023, once again written and directed by James Gunn. Thank God. We know that we're gonna be exploring Rocket's tragic past. Thank God. Gamora's off with the Ravagers, and Groot is all grown up. So I'm like, oh, so is it just going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 1 Groot again? which look, I'm absolutely fine with. I love that.
Deep voice
that
Groot.
version. Yeah. We also know that Cosmo the Space Dog is in this, who had a cameo, I think, in the first one. I was like, for God's sake. And there's actually there's an actor from Peacemaker, Chukwudi Iwuji. Completely screwed his name. I do apologise, sir. He's playing the main villain, the High Evolutionary. Whatever that is. I think he rocked up in his costume and it's purple. I'm like, oh great, so it's Kang. Because I'm fairly certain that Kang is purple as well.
Yeah,
like,
Kang's
are we really
is
still
sort of
doing I mean, like, honestly,
purple?
why is it Marvel's thing to do purple space villains? I don't get it.
No, I'm starting to wonder why. Like, I'm pretty sure that like space villains have a variety of wardrobes, not just purple outfits. Like, can we just stop with the purple villain outfits, please?
Yeah. And then also there's Will Poulter as Adam Warlock, which we already knew about. It's nice to see him getting some big stuff, especially because I still remember him from the third Chronicles of Narnia film, where he's like the best and the worst thing in it, because he's like annoying as fuck, but he's like the most interesting character.
Yeah.
But I'm very much looking forward to seeing that, because I do really like the Guardians of the Galaxy films, and I
this
just
is
hope
supposedly
that,
going to be
with
like the end of the
the
Guardians
end of the
Galaxy
current
as
team,
well,
yeah.
so.
Which I'm fine with, frankly. I'm very much okay with.
Marvel's gonna
it's
pull
just
my heartstrings again.
Yeah, but then they're probably just gonna retcon it like 2 years later. It's like, oh no, it's fine. They're back. It's like, fuck you, man.
From the dead.
We do know actually from set photos, the Star-Lord has a much more comic accurate suit. I really hope he has like the classic looking helmets, because I can remember looking at the concept art for that, and it looks so awesome. It looks like very 1980s sci-fi, so I feel like they're going to go with that now, providing they don't take too much of a cut from bloody Thor, because I don't want that. It's fine. It's not fine. Now we also have a confirmation about Echo. That's the Hawkeye spin-off series on Disney Plus.
Yep.
That's in the summer 2023.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't really say too much because, again, nothing's really been sort of said about it. I mean, ages ago I mentioned that there was like a teaser for it that Marvel posted about it, like an image, and that was about it. There's nothing else. So we can't exactly say much more.
Yeah, I think Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio's in it as well, unsurprisingly. So there's that. Same with Loki season 2. I've got nothing to say. I didn't watch the first season. I
can't
like the first
wait.
episode. I know you can't wait.
The boy Tom Hiddleston is back.
Yeah.
Causing
Also
mischief
in
on the
summer
timeline as he
2023.
always is.
The Marvels is coming out in July.
Yep,
directed by
20th
Nia
of July.
DaCosta. Yeah, so we've got 3 generations of Captain Marvel. Gotta wonder which one is going to be the most interesting one. Because so far it's none, sadly. Sorry, I mean, that is...
He's very blunt,
I-
audience.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's me. I'm mostly just interested because of the director, because Nia DaCosta did really good with the Candyman film last year, so I'm very curious what she's
Yeah, I
going to do with
forgot.
this.
I was starting to wonder where I remember the name from, and it was Blummin' Candyman. As if I forgot about that. Like,
Yeah.
shame on you, Dan.
It does sound like she's wanting to try and get a more human kind of perspective with Captain Marvel in particular. I'm like, thank the maker, because she really needs that. Because currently she is just a wooden plank with like superhero written sort of somewhere on it. As you can tell, I wasn't big on that. Ironheart, an Iron Man spin-off thing. That's coming to Disney Plus in the
Yeah,
autumn.
the fall of
This is
2023.
this is Riri Williams. She's actually a more recent comic book addition to like the Marvel universe. She builds her own Iron Man suit, and it's awesome as fuck apparently. I do remember hearing a rumor that she was going to appear in Black Panther 2. So whether or not that's still a thing, I mean, she could do, I suppose. I didn't see her in the trailer, so well, I don't think I did. I think I would have noticed, but we've got that next autumn. We've also got a retitle. The Agatha Harkness WandaVision spin-off series is now Agatha Coven of Chaos.
Yep. The winter of 2023/24 hasn't really been.
Am I in the
cemented
minority
yet.
for not really giving a shit about Agatha Harkness in WandaVision? I feel like I am, but then I wasn't big on WandaVision in like retrospect.
Oh, I can feel that hatred.
I can feel your
Your
anger.
hatred, your anger.
It gives you convolution, makes you weaker.
Makes you a bullshit critic.
Excuse me, I'm doing this shit for free. I can say whatever the hell I want. Now we've also got Blade. That's now confirmed to be releasing in November 2023. Directed by Bassam Tariq. I don't think I've seen anything that he's done.
No,
we're actually
not
seeing that. I think I
someone
might have
I'm
seen one
familiar
thing.
with. I don't
Yeah.
think so. Anyway.
Still starring Mahershala Ali as Blade. It's weird because the only Blade film I've seen was the third one, and it was only.
Do you know what it is? I
just
haven't
looked
seen any
hilarious.
of them, and I really, really want to. I just continuously forget about them.
Yeah, I've got the first one up in the collection because I got the 4K one for like a tenner because it was on like a special deal thing, like buy this, you can have this for a tenner. Didn't watch this. I do want to watch the second one more than anything else because that's directed by Guillermo del Toro.
That's interesting.
And then the third one was directed by the guy who wrote Man of Steel.
No.
It wasn't good. Speaking of Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, Daredevil Born Again.
Yep.
18 episodes. 18.
You know what? It's fine. It's coming out in spring 2024. It means I've got all this time to just catch up on Daredevil. It's fine.
I think it would be hilarious if they say like, oh, it's going to be 18 episodes, but each episode's going to be the same runtime as Man vs. Bee. It's just like 10 or 11 minutes.
Yeah, I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, so which is weird because I think the third series of Daredevil is based on the Born Again comic book arc, so it's interesting that they're titling it this.
I wouldn't have a clue because I haven't even got past the first season yet. I think I got like maybe 3 episodes in, but I'm just going to start again because I just can't remember a damn diddly thing.
I haven't got past the first opening titles, so it's fine. I just didn't watch it. I've seen the Ben Affleck one. Imagine if Ben Affleck was in this as well.
No, we don't mention such smut. No.
Yeah. Now, Captain America, New World Order, starring Anthony Mackie, directed by Julius Onah, which we actually referenced. Was it last week or the week before?
I think it might be the last week. Maybe the week before.
Releasing May 2024.
Yep.
I've got. Again, we're getting to the point where there's not really much to say, at least until the last few. Where it's like, what is this going to be? Especially because I'm picturing something closer to the Winter Soldier than anything else, but I don't want it to just be a repeat of the Winter Soldier because that's very espionage anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what this is gonna be and how far past Falcon and the Winter Soldier this is actually gonna be, because I could have sworn they were gonna do a second series of that, but I'm assuming this is now the second series.
Yeah,
It's
I
just the
think
film?
it's just sort of turned into Captain America now, because I can't really think of what they would do if they did a second season of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because it was fine, I think, but it was quite dry compared to every other thing that the MCU has done. It's pretty dry. I won't lie. It's fine. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it, but it's pretty dry at times.
I definitely don't look back on it very fondly, especially when I think it's like towards the end when like one of the Congress people is like referring to the flag smashers as terrorists, and Falcon's just like, he's just like, you can't call them terrorists. I'm like, yeah, you can. That's yeah, you can. Haven't you seen every episode of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Falcon.
Damn it, Falcon.
His suit's awesome though, but you know. We also now have a confirmation about Thunderbolts, which I think actually got confirmed a couple of weeks ago. I didn't cover it because I don't know anything about the Thunderbolts.
I don't either. This is pretty new to me as well.
Yeah. So this is directed by Jake Schreier. Again, don't know. Released in July 2024. I believe Daniel Bruhl Zemo's in this, I think, or at least I think he's part of the Thunderbolts thing in the comics.
I would hope so, because I mean, all we really got was a glimpse in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and you know there was all this rumor that he would be getting his own thing, which I hope kind of happens.
But then also, I'm sure that the General Ross is part of the Thunderbolts as well. I'm like, well, you can't do that now.
Yeah.
Like, which is sad, frankly. You know, back when they were finally doing something interesting with that character, and now they can't.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're gonna do with that. And that's potentially the end of Phase 5. We don't know yet, and then probably get something else announced. It's interesting that there's no Spider-Man thing in there.
No, I was gonna say I was expecting a bit more Spider-Man, considering how, well, I guess popular would be the word, but.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of trying to figure out where Spider-Man's going to appear, because he still has one more MCU appearance, just not an actual like film dedicated to him.
Yeah.
So it's in terms of stuff that's been shown here, it's actually more likely to be the next one, which is actually Fantastic Four, which is the first one of Phase 6, releasing in November 2024. So we're literally getting the end of Phase 5 and the beginning of Phase 6 within the span of a couple of months in 1 year. That's actually quite interesting. But again, really, really rapid. Again, there's no director now because John Watts left the project a couple of months ago. Look, after watching the 2015 one this week, it cannot be any worse. I don't know, frankly.
Yeah, I think that there's not really a lot to say on it, but I think, as we said before, because let's face it, the Fantastic Four films that we have now aren't exactly
fantastic.
Yeah, pretty
There
much.
are definitely 4 of them, but they're not very fantastic.
Fantastic, if anything.
They're not Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
What a tongue twister.
That being said, what is very interesting is now we have confirmation on 2 Avengers films. We have Avengers The Kang Dynasty in May 2025, and the one that I'm more interested in, Avengers Secret Wars in November. This one I want, and I actually think this might be the one to have Spider-Man in it, because if they go off the comics, he needs to be in it. We might finally have Spider-Man and Venom in a film together for the first time since 2007.
Damn.
I don't count Venom 2. Because that is just on a technicality.
No, we can't mention that for too long, otherwise you'll go on your dark place.
I can see the knife, place. Dan. I can see the knife. I'm twirling the Allen key. Dan.
Put it down.
No, it's fine. I think we all kind of figured that Kang was going to have some sort of like he's probably going to be like the new threat for this like saga. But again, he's just purple. So we've got another purple dude as the main villain for 3 phases.
Maybe he might, update his wardrobe or something, but,
But even that being said, because he who remains that's in Loki, is he supposed to be Kang? Or is he just a variant of Kang? I don't get it.
I think it's meant to be Kang. I mean, it's been ages since I've seen it, but I'm pretty sure it's Kang.
Yeah, because I know because he's played by Jonathan Majors, who is playing Kang in Ant-Man
Yeah.
3 and, assuming the Kang Dynasty, probably Secret Wars as well. So I'm just sort of like, is he supposed to be the same one? Because, I mean, it kind of goes back to bloody Loki, where he's the villain in one of them, and then he's the villain in, like, the big team-up one, because it's a connective tissue thing. But then also, who is actually going to be the Avengers? Because Iron Man's gone, Black Widow's
Yeah,
gone, Hulk's
you know what it is? Like, I'm
MIA,
pretty
Thor
sure,
is...
like, the Russo brothers just said that there weren't going to be, like, any more Avengers films, and, well, that was a bit of a little white lie, wasn't it? Unless
Well-
they're just totally not involved with them or anything, but, you know.
Well, I think there was always going to be, but I remember Kevin Feige saying there was going to be a bit of a wait on it, which this
Yeah.
is. This is literally in 3 years before we get the first
Yeah,
one. or
it's going to
two-
be a
or
bit
two
of
and
a
half.
while.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm more interested in the Secret Wars one, frankly, because I mean that is a storyline. I think that's just so. That is like proper Avengers cosmic stuff, which we sort of got in Infinity War, for one plot.
Yeah, it just wasn't.
But now this is the
enough.
entire plot.
They need
But
more.
also, but then it's weird because it's like they've kind of set up the Venom symbiote in No Way Home, but not really, because I don't want it to be that one. I really don't want it to be that one. So I'm assuming we're going to get that here, because, especially because, well, Gore the God Butcher's sword in Thor Love and Thunder is, I believe, was made by the King of the Symbiotes, or something to that avail.
Yeah,
So the abilities that we see that sword use in the film, I really hope isn't going to be what the symbiotes are like, because that looks somehow worse than Venom. I don't know how that's possible, but if it's not the symbiotes, then it looks fine, frankly. But yes, I'm very much keen to see those. I mean, I just find it hilarious how I was talking like a couple of weeks ago, like how I'm kind of sick of Marvel, and then they announce all this. I'm like, okay, I'm vaguely interested again.
you've got my
Damn you.
attention again.
As in, you've literally got my attention for films 3 years down the line. So I'm going to have to sift through 3 years worth of potential garbage. We don't know. It could be rubbish. Imagine if they were all rubbish, though. That would be hilarious.
Would it
Like,
though?
okay, well, hilarious for us, embarrassing for them.
Yeah,
Because then, maybe we should fast track the Secret Wars one just very, very quickly, just to kind of get to that. Which it wouldn't be the first time that they kind of fast tracked on things. It was similar to the Inhumans when that got announced back in 2014, and look where that went. Don't need to see it.
yeah, do you know what it is? I'm gonna have to, because I'm gonna be compelled to just watch all the Marvel series stuff. I don't want to. I really don't want to. I'd rather just go watch Shark Exorcist or something like that. Something of equal
Excuse me.
smuttiness.
The cultural significance of Shark Exorcist. I swear to God, I could write a thesis on that. Like, honestly.
Jesus.
The post-credit scene suggests a much larger world.
God, you are full of
The
shit.
possibility of more Shark Exorcists. More Dutch angles.
Oh,
and more
no,
sunbathing
right, just stop.
in
Just stop.
overcast weather.
Just stop. You've made your point well and truly clear.
I don't like that film. Let's just say that film was part of a competition with me and my girlfriend for Christmas to buy the worst film for each other. She bought me The Neon Demon. I actually quite liked it. I got a Shark Exorcist, and even she was like, I didn't think about doing B movies. I'm like, no, you didn't. I did.
Does that count as a B movie? I'm pretty sure that just counts as an S movie, as in S4.
It's actually still in the collection, or did we give it to a charity shop? I think we did. Yeah, we did. It's probably a good idea, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I mean, did I miss anything?
Well, there's a couple of things that we haven't skimmed
Okay.
through, which I've noticed.
Okay.
As a horror fan, they've announced Gremlins: The Secrets of the Mogwai.
Oh, yeah. Is that a TV show or is it a film?
Yeah, it's going to be a HBO Max series, so whether or not this comes to Disney Plus is very unclear. Hopefully it
Probably
does.
not Disney Plus, probably Sky or something.
Yeah,
So I can't watch
more
it.
than likely. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame because I love Gremlins. It's fantastic. I picked this out just for you, and I really hope you haven't seen it so I can make you so excited about this. Lego.
Hang on, I'm picking up the knife. Hang on. Right.
Lego have announced 3 Avatar sets.
I don't want a Lego Avatar.
Have you not seen
rubbish.
this?
It's gonna...
Thank the heavens.
No, here's the thing.
Okay,
right,
so I have the name of the sets here, right? The Netri
It's gonna
and
sound
the
cringy, isn't it?
the Thanon versus Amp Quad. There's so many words in this. It's basically these 2 characters versus a giant Lego mesh thing.
Okay.
I don't know. Jake and
Right.
Netri's first Banshee flight. Again, don't know what the doodly-doo was that. And the floating
Banshee's
mountains.
flying thing. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Apparently, there's Lego Avatar. I just thought you'd be interested in that. God, the things I
No
do.
offense, I'm kind of picturing the Lego version of the Kaminoans from Attack of the Clones, in that they look like they look so stupid in Lego form. So I'm picturing.
I'm not gonna lie, right? Do you know the meme of Mr. Bean when he's like an Avatar character? The Lego characters kind of look like that a little bit.
Oh Christ Almighty!
Yeah, you're gonna have to look when we're done with this. You're gonna have to go look.
If there's one franchise that doesn't need to be Lego, it's Avatar. It doesn't work. But also, it's
I haven't excited. I'm
killed it now,
disappointed.
Dan.
I've failed.
I mean, I think it's stupid. I wouldn't say I was disappointed.
I'm stupid. Stupid.
It's stupid. It's stupid. Oh dear, Lego Avatar. Just no, I don't need this. I don't need this in my life. I would rather watch Halloween H2O.
No, you
Yeah,
wouldn't.
I said it.
No,
I
you
wouldn't.
wouldn't. No, you
I would
wouldn't.
rather play with. Okay, so I mean, when does that mean we're gonna get a Lego Avatar game? Hopefully never.
I don't know. Don't.
Probably
ask for this.
after the 5th film, whenever that gets released. Maybe in
Well, it's safe to say,
2046.
right? If they were going to do any Lego set at all, they just have to do a Lego set of the Mummy from 1999. That would be like a godsend.
I'm gonna have to rewatch the Mummy. I really want to rewatch the Mummy. In fact, I really want to watch the Mummy Returns. Because my God, is that? I mean, look, it's not a good film, but it's entertaining as.
I still need to watch the sequels. I will get to it.
Here's the thing, there was actually going to be a bit of news about what has been dubbed the worst CGI in film history from The Mummy Returns, but I elected not to reference it because you haven't seen the film yet. I would like you to witness that majestic piece of computer technology. It's just...
What, you mean
really
like... You mean like the shark
Don't go
from
there.
Jaws 3D? Like that?
Oh. Oh.
God, that thing needed to be put out of its misery, and it was.
Dan actually hasn't referenced the fact that he prefers Jaws the Revenge to
Right,
Jaws
I
3,
don't
and I
prefer
had to-
it necessarily. Right, okay, right.
Tangent.
It's just because, right, I ever so slightly like the shark ever so slightly more because it actually looks like a shark and not some CGI mess. Okay.
The shark in Jaws 4 growls like a fucking lion. Sharks don't have vocal cords. I'm pretty certain.
Nor do they have a vendetta against the entire town, but okay.
I do now.
Well, I know you do if you were a shark.
This time
that
it's
was what
very
you do.
personal, Dan. Chester Street is doomed.
Oh, no.
Doomed. Oh, honestly. Yeah, I think that's it from Comic-Con.
Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much said everything that I've picked up from Comic-Con.
Yeah, this has just been the real podcasters news. The news at whatever time it is that we're recording this.
The news at
10 to
8:50.
9. 8:50. 2050 actually it says on mine.
All right.
Oh, we're not. Oh, okay. Look, if there's anyone that's gonna get into an argument and about like styles of time, it's gonna be me and my girlfriend. I'm not doing that with you because frankly we're gonna be here all night and until Christmas. Now, I do love the fact that we mentioned this at the beginning, and we mentioned this via messages earlier in the day, that this was going to be the longest episode. I'm looking at the runtime. It actually isn't.
Yeah, I was expecting this to be in like 2 hours by now, but
yeah, I mean, you think we talked about nothing, when in reality we talked about a lot of stuff.
yeah, we like nearly 2 pages worth of stuff, but in brief sort of detail, because again, like, there isn't too much to say on some of the things that were announced, because again, it was just announcements.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain there's not anything else. I don't think. I mean, look, we are recording this on a Sunday night, so it's entirely possible that something else is going to come out in like the hours like since. I don't believe there's anything else. I'm just quickly checking. There's no, there actually isn't. That's fine then. If that's the case, then we can end. Thank God. But yes, thank you very much for listening, everyone. Really hope you enjoyed us. Really hope you enjoyed us just breaking down a lot of news for an hour and a bit. Next week we are back to our scheduled programming, a return to the Whoniverse with the ever controversial Doctor Who Series 6. Again, we have things to say.
Yeah.
We have many things to say. And I promise we are talking about Doctor Who Series 6. We're not actually going to suddenly turn into the Dark Knight or something, as it turns out. That'd be quite funny, though. But yes, thank you very much for listening. And, well, take care, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.